Hey YouTube family, welcome back to my channel, Awakening Soul Memory. Today's video is titled Let's Talk because I met an angel, and I mean one of the most popular angels of all the angels. And I met him by calling on him, and I want to discuss that in this video. This is the first of many videos that I have coming where I'm going to literally share with you what I'm going through. Because it's one thing to talk about awakening people's souls and not sharing how exactly that's happening, because it's like, okay, what do you mean? So I am going to share with you my experiences that have helped me awaken to the truth of who I am and who you are, the truth of who we all are. So in this video, I want to talk about one of my experiences that just happened literally about a week ago. Before I get to that though, I wanted to say that, this is my third video, right? I want to say and specify that this is my third video because it has been a road. I will continue to say that. I'm saying that because, a lot of times we put one foot forward and we try to do something that's really on our heart to do. And then there are things that will sidetrack you and not allow you to complete it because you fall into that trap of procrastination. Well, my first video cut short. That was almost a total mess. My second video, I was looking in the wrong camera. So I am so new to this that I am literally learning step by step, video by video, and I'm back again. So I'm saying that because I want whoever is watching this video to understand that whatever it is that you want to do, that you just inching your way into, do it. Do it. Don't stop yourself. Don't let nothing stop you. Don't let yourself stop you, which is basically what happens, right? We let mind, fears, doubts, procrastination, things we got going on day to day prevent us from doing the things that we are called to do, because each one of us has a purpose. So you are called. You have a calling that you have to answer. And so this is my calling, to be here in front of you and help myself and you awaken to the truth of our being, because we are all connected. And let me show you how. I want to shout out in this video to a friend of mine, Rhonda Mason, because what she did today enabled me to be here. Hey, Rhonda girl, smooches to you. Thank you so much for what you did. And she didn't even know she was doing it, right? All she did was she sent me a text message. She said, hey, here's something that may be interesting to you. I saw your first few videos and I could tell that there's some format here that you may like. So I watched the podcast. It was a podcast on Spotify. And it just ignited a flame in me, because that particular podcast, the person that does the podcast is doing exactly what it is that I want to do. And it just reignited that purposeful feeling that stepping into this role and doing this type of work, it's like you got to tell people what you're going through. You got to show them what it is exactly that you're experiencing, so that you can understand in a more personal way and connect to that. And then hopefully it sends a message to you so that you can take away that may in some way impact your life, because maybe you have experienced the very same thing. And if you have, please leave it in the comments. Let me know what you think about this video, and let me also know what you like to hear, what you like to discuss. Please subscribe to my page so you can keep up with my videos and what I'm doing, see my progression. Hopefully that can help you on your road and progress with whatever you're trying to do. Now, this video is called Let's Talk. And so what do I want to talk about? Honey, I want to talk about how I met Archangel Michael just about a week ago. Okay. And let me tell you, I'm not crazy. I met him. I called on him and he came. Okay. I was in a state of need. And just like you read in the Bible, angels came to help. Okay. And I know many of you have been in situations where you needed help. And then out of the blue, something maybe that you didn't see, or someone who you did see, all of a sudden came into the situation and literally helped you out. And you were probably thinking, oh my God, this is disastrous. I'm about to lose this. I'm about to, and then all of a sudden, bam, there's help. Well, that is exactly what happened to me. So let me tell the story. I'm hungry. I wanted to go out and get something to eat. So I jump in the car. The roads are not really good to be traveling, but I'm so hungry, y'all. I was just like, hey, I'm gonna make it there. When your stomach start growling and everything, you need to go. You don't care whatever is in the road or in the way, you just ready to go. So I jump in the car, about to go get me and my family something to eat. I didn't think I was swerving, but now I know that I was swerving. Okay, so I go around the bend of this road and my car literally, I would say hydroplaned maybe, but it went up and into a snowbank. Okay. I mean, my wheels was off of the ground. The front end of my car, the wheels were off of the ground. Almost hit a freaking tree. Okay. Terrifying experience. Okay. Literally terrifying experience. So I'm like, oh my God, and the first thing I'm thinking is, whoo, I didn't hit that damn tree. You know what I'm saying? So took my gear shaft or, tried to reverse. Okay. Couldn't go nowhere. Okay. Tried it a couple of times. And I'm like, oh my God, I am literally stuck. Now, I had been seeing people stuck all day long, okay? And now I'm in that same position. So I look across the road and there's this guy who's leaving out of his yard. He backs up. He rolls his window down. Now, mind you, it's bitter cold and it's snowing a lot at this time. He backs up. He says, hey, you got four-wheel drive? And I'm like, I think so, and he's like, well, do this, do that, whatever. And everything he told me to do, I tried and it did not work. So he said, well, I got to go, but my sons are in the house. I'll tell them to keep an eye out on you, So I said, thank you, because that was really nice. So he went on. So then I thought, well, after I tried again a few more times to do this and do that, and it didn't work, I called my son. My son answers the phone. I knew he was about to come out and go get him something to eat as well. Or no, he was actually going to visit somebody. But anyway, he was coming out and I called him and said, hey, I'm stuck. So he yells through the house, Mom is stuck in the ditch, whatever. And I'm like, oh my God. So my husband gets in his car. My son gets in his car. They both come maybe 5 minutes away from the house to where I am. And, then I get grilled. Okay. It's like, okay, what were you doing? And, oh my God, this and oh my God, that. And I'm like, yeah. I'm feeling like an idiot. Yeah, I did it, So And I really did feel like an idiot. I felt so bad because it was such bad weather, you know, and here I am out here. I could have just stayed at home and warmed something up, you know. So my husband went in on me on that. And my son, you know, because they got to do the heavy work. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a warm car, you know, but they out in the cold. My son got a shovel. He's shoveling me out. He's shoveling me out. I mean, there was so much snow under my car. It was ridiculous. So they only had one shovel. So my son is like, Dad, you know, why don't you go back to the house and get the other shovel? So he's like, you know, after a couple of times more of them trying to just use the one shovel, he decides, okay, I'll try to go back. So then my husband jumps in his truck. He has an Armada, right? And he has a bright idea. He takes his Armada and he's like, I'm going to push your car forward a little bit, and maybe that will push you loose a little bit, you know. So that's what he tries to do, and it actually causes my gear shaft to now be stuck in drive. I could not put it in anything but neutral and drive. I couldn't put it in park. I couldn't put it in reverse. So now it's a worse situation. And I'm like, oh my God. So he goes back to the house to get the other shovel. My son, he's on his back. His pants are just covered in snow, okay? He's mumbling all kind of obscenities to himself, I'm sure, because it was cold as hell, okay? So, because also it's like, okay, now the situation is worse. You pushed her further up into the snow, okay? So my husband comes back with the other shovel. They start shoveling me out. And it gets to the point where, boom, the car now is on both wheels. So we like, yay, you know, because now I can get up out of there, you know, we thinking. And no enchilada, sorry. Gears won't move, can't reverse, okay? I'm in neutral, but, you know, still not going anywhere. Now, this process, by this time, it's been about an hour, okay? And they have done everything they can think of. I start hearing stuff like, oh, she's going to have to leave it here. We're going to have to get a tow truck here tomorrow, you know, things of that nature. So I am just, at this point, I'm deplete of energy to know what to do. You know, I'm just literally just sitting there like so frustrated with myself. Like, what the hell was I thinking? Why didn't I just stay home? You know? So then I said, because I've learned to do so, I know that we have more to aid us than just God. We have angels, we have spirit guides, we have our ancestors. We have a host of help that God can send us. So I said to Archangel Michael, I said, Michael, I need you to come into this situation right now. I need you right now. I need help, okay? Protect me from a high-ass car note or car bill tomorrow, from having to get the car fixed, from a tow truck bill, from having to get the car pulled up out of the snow. You know, please, 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 Michael, come into this situation and help me out. And after saying that with my heart and my soul, okay, I get out of the car and I attempt to do whatever to help them. So then, maybe 3 minutes later, white guy pulls up, okay, and he's in the truck. And he says, hey, you guys need any help? And I'm like, yeah, you know, because I felt bad about asking anyone really to help, because I already saw the struggle that my husband and my son was going through. But I said, yeah, I kind of do need some help. So he parks his truck. He gets out of the truck, he puts on his gloves, and he's like, wow, I wish I had my change, because I could just pull her out, you know. And I'm like, damn, because I thought when he said that he did have some damn change, but he didn't. So he goes to the front of the car. My husband's like, well, we'll just, you can help us push because maybe we just needed more manpower. So he's like, oh, yeah, sure. So he goes to push the car and flips and falls dead on his ass. Okay. I felt so bad. He falls, like hits his head, like slides up under the car a little bit. It was like a total disaster. And so now I'm really feeling bad. Like, oh my God, this guy is out here and then banged his damn head. So then he pops right back up and he's like, oh, I'm okay, And so he pushes and up, my car is moving back a little bit, But again, I can't go in reverse, okay? Because my gears is still stuck. Won't freaking budge, okay? So they then start shoveling some more snow from the back, This process is now taking maybe 20 minutes, okay, with now even him involved. And so after that happens, he comes to the front of the car and they try to push it again. And this time they pushed me further back enough where I was unlodged from the snow and I was like loose. So they're like, can you drive? Now, again, my gears was stuck in drive. So I said, yeah, I can drive. And so they like, go. Okay, take your ass home. Okay. So I'm in drive, vroom. I go home, go straight home. Okay. From going home, turning the car off, when I turned my car off, now my gear shaft was able to move forward and I was able to put it in park. To say the least, basically there was a computer problem that occurred, okay, which caused my gear shaft to get stuck because of being, lodged in snow, okay. So the next morning, when me and my husband was talking about the situation, I said, I feel terrible because I was not able to tell that guy thank you, for what he did because, he fell and hit his head and he was like, yeah, he bust his ass in that snow. And so we're laughing and talking about that. And I'm like, man, I said, well, did you get his name or anything? And he was like, yeah, his name was Mike. I said, what? He said, yeah, his name was Mike, whatever. I'm like, oh, what? I'm like, oh my God, Mick, Mike, I prayed to Archangel Michael like 3 minutes before this guy shows up. And you're telling me that his name was Mike? And he looks at me like, whoa. Okay. And I'm like, oh my God, see, this is what I mean. Because, I have these little stories, but again, these were my witnesses, my son and my husband. Because after, like I said, I didn't find out this guy's name until the next day. But when I shared with them what I had did before Mike showed up, and then he shared with me that the guy's name was Mike, man, coincidence or not? Some of you may say, that was just coincidence. But I tell you what, I have had several situations where after praying for help arrived. Okay? So I totally, wholeheartedly, in my heart, feel that was an angel. He was sent by Archangel Michael, or he was Archangel Michael in the flesh. One or the other. It's my experience. So I'm going to stick with that. And I'm just wanting to share this because, again, on this road to understanding that we are spirit, not human beings only. There are many things that will basically co-sign that in your life when you open to it. And that's the whole idea. You have to be open, okay? You can deny, you can, say no literally to certain help, okay? But help is always there. A lot of us, we have this saying, man, you blocking your blessings. That is literally what a lot of us are doing, blocking our blessings because we are too caught up in dogma, we're too caught up in fear, we're too caught up in traditions, we're too caught up in just stubborn nature, you know what I'm saying, and not wanting to be open to the idea that there is spiritual help there for you in your life. Maybe because have certain experiences growing up, you don't feel a connection to this type of conversation or reality. But one thing is for sure, you are not your body. You are not your mind. You are definitely not that ego that's telling you you can't do this and you can't do that. Okay? And so this is just one story of more to come because I could add so much more onto this, but I'm gonna tease y'all a little bit and give you a little bit at a time. Okay? That's the rest of my story. Thanks for tuning in. See you in the next video where in Let's Talk, I'm going to talk to you about another experience of spirit.